More thoughts from Tumor Town with Bruce, everybody. So, my first real paying job in California was with Pacific Stereo. And it was a wonderful experience, without question. So, basically, as I said, I saw the ad in the paper and I went down, applied at the store, did a little interview with the manager and assistant manager, and basically, since I was right out of college, the basic thing was, okay, sell me something on my desk, So I just picked up something, I can't remember what it was, and made this, Saturday Night Live style sales pitch to them on the thing. They all laughed, they went ahead, and they said, fine, you're in. So I got the job, no problem. There were two openings, another guy named Ted got the other one. He was younger. He was a couple years. I don't think he had been to college. But Ted was kind of a little shy guy, but he drove a Saab Turbo, so we always called him Teddy Turbo. So now the nice thing about Pacific Stereo was you started out in the back as a stock boy. So you were putting stereos together, putting turntables together, putting the cartridges and the needles in the arms of turntables and that sort of thing. And the company sent you to school for, I think it was a week, we're down in Anaheim. So Ted and I drove down every day, and they put you through a nice little crash course in stereo and video. What it was. So you knew what total harmonic distortion was, wattage, all these things, why they were there, what the specs meant, what everything was, how it worked, blah, 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 blah. So you understood what it was you were selling to the customer. And of course, they did a decent amount of training on how to sell. And that was all great information. I sucked all that stuff up. That was freaking awesome, So we came back out of class, and then it's a matter of who's going to get to be a salesman first. And, they'd let you come out and be under the supervision of a sales guy, maybe make a couple of sales here and there, back in the stock room, this and that. And then there came a moment where they wanted somebody to stand out on the street in a clown outfit and wave at people to come in for some weekend special. Well, Ted wasn't going to do it, no way. He was too shy. He could not do that. I had no problem doing that because back in, my high school days and college days, I actually, did a character for a fast food company called Burger Chef. They had their two little characters were Burger Chef and Jeff. And I did one of those characters. We would do parades, in a golf cart and whole deal, and a little outfit and whole deal. So, none of that bothered me at all. I had no problem. So I put on the costume, spent the weekend out there jumping around, making a fool of myself. So obviously, as soon as that was done, boom, you're on the floor as a salesman. So I got there before Ted. And, the nice thing with the store at that time was, everything was negotiable. You had manufacturer, retail, or whatever. And then you would negotiate with the customers. They all expected to negotiate. But Pacific Stereo was ahead of the times because they had computers. So you could go to a computer screen and you could type in what the customer was wanting. And you could see in the hidden little codes at the bottom what your margin was, your profit margin, and what your discount opportunities could be and how that would affect you. So you had all the information right in front of you. You didn't have to think about it. None of this, I got to go to my manager, whatever. So we had a great advantage over our competition at the time because we could do that and make sales very quickly and come to deals very quickly, And we were the only store at the time, because we were the first to ever do it, that had package systems. You could walk in and there was a little row of systems. Here's a $200 system. Here's a $400 system, $500. It had a turntable, a receiver, speakers, cassette, whatever. So you could just come and buy the prepackaged thing and walk out the door. Done. Didn't have to think about it, Or you could ship, buy your parts, pick and choose, do what you wanted. And we were commission salespeople. So, You wanted to sell, 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 and you wanted to sell at the highest margins you could, and you wanted to sell the items they wanted you to sell because those were spiffed, which meant at the end of the day, if you sold, Bob's receiver, you got $50 cash. Great. So as I recall back in the day, the company had stores, mostly in California, but they had some elsewhere. So from a salesman standpoint, I believe they had 3 or 4 pages worth of salesmen. And the idea was you always wanted to be on the front page as far as your stats were concerned. Because if you were on the front page, you were good. Nobody was really going to mess with you. You start to drop into those lower pages, people are going to have problems. Your managers are going to be on you, blah, blah, blah. I was always on that top page. Never did I fall off that top page. And, the guys that we worked with were really great. They were funny, They were a great group of guys. There was one guy there who was from New York. Name was Gary. And Gary was a big pot dealer, loved to smoke pot. So, we would get on the intercom, constantly during the day. Dr. Gary to the front. You're needed for surgery, Dr. Gary. And everybody knew that was, hey, man, can we all take a break and go smoke a joint, And, that was just the way it was. And they were silly enough that my very first business cards I had printed up with my name and resident loony rather than like sales associate or something. I said resident loony. So I would actually give people my business card and they would look at it and go, resident loony? Yeah, what the heck, That was kind of weird, And, but, it was just kind of the way it was, it was kind of wacky. And we had back then, there was a day called an inventory clearance day or something. Like there was a tax, the business was going to have to pay on any inventory that it had in the store come midnight. And I tell you this without kidding. We only did that sale once and then the law went away or whatever. But every one of us in the store basically just stood in front of a computer terminal and just took orders. You didn't move. People were just lined up. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. And you just rang it up. Absolutely phenomenal. It was incredible. I'll never forget that day. It was just a crazy, crazy day. But Blake was there at the store. So he was my roommate, one of them. So it was nice. We got to work together. And that whole experience there at Pacific Stereo was great. And in the end, I would make a reappearance at Pacific Stereo for a brief point in time at their North Hollywood store. And I would do things there that had never been done before. But that's what ended my basic love of Pacific Stereo. Because when I went back, they were shifting away from commissioned to basically hourly, which was not so great. And I managed to sell a very expensive high-end system over the phone. Customer never saw them, never set foot in the store. I sold it at full retail price, and I sold every piece that I had in the store. No back order, no nothing. And that was a humongous sale. And the day I did it, or the day before I did it, I should say this. I did the sale. We rang up the sale on a day where a Richard Pryor movie was being filmed in our store, a scene. They rented our store for a day. So, bam, the store had a great day, even though it wasn't even open. And the president of the company was there and was, yeah, here's an extra $100, I think it was, on your commission. I was like, are you kidding me? That's all you're going to give me is $100. I could have bought all this stuff on my employee discount, put it in my car, taken it over there and sold it to that guy at retail price and pocketed a couple of grand. Geez, that just really torqued my chain. And that pretty much, lost me. Because at that point they were trying to, let's get you in the management train, this and that. And, the world was different then. I didn't know what was going to happen because we were in the middle of an actor strike and a writer strike. So the work in television wasn't there. Didn't know when it was coming back. All the doors that were open to me had closed. So it was just a crazy, crazy period. But I have to say that when I needed them, Pacific Stereo was there for me. I made decent money working for them. I learned a lot, had some great experiences, and made some wonderful friends. And I will have to say that when the Mattel-O-Vision was first out, man, did we become good at that in our stores. Oh, man, we played the heck out of that thing. I tell you what, we were killers when it came to baseball and football on the Mattel-O-Vision. Oh, man. Woo! You did not want to touch us in any way, shape, size, or form. But I will tell you, I'll end with kind of a humorous story. The night I had to open one morning on, I believe it was a Saturday, early morning, and we had been out drinking the night before. So I was feeling pretty sloggy when I came in to open up. And I opened up, and customer walks in the door. I say, "What can I show you today, sir?" And he holds out a flyer, and I realize he's blind. Oh, great. But what he wants is this little television that's on sale. What the heck? How weird. But, my luck, what can I show you today? To a blind guy, oh, man. Not a great way to start the day, so I kind of walk away. I don't think about it, whatever. I figured the next customer that came up, I'm like, okay, be very careful. Don't do anything crazy, And so I go up and say, "So is there anything I can help you pick up today?" And the guy has no hands. I swear, I was just, I just melted right there, I mean, how could, the first two people I talked to, I just melted, and I just walked away, got my keys, I left, I said, "I'm going home, I'm not supposed to be here, this isn't a day I'm supposed to do anything with anybody, I'm going home, goodbye." It just was not a day for me. So, it's just one of those weird things that happens, kind of crazy. But it is what it is. But that was Pacific Stereo, and I enjoyed it immensely. Okay, thanks. Peace. Hang 10. Bye now.